So we all know there's a brand new DC Cinematic Universe coming out in 2025, starting with Superman Legacy. Now, the old DC Universe, the DCU, is done. It's finished. Bury it. You know, what did Superman say about me with Superman? It's done. Bury it. It's over. It ended between Man of Steel, which is still fucking great, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which I would say for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, it was fine. It was a fine film. I was like, well, better to see how they wrap up this universe, and I'm like, okay. In my head, I was like, Flash is, that's the ending, because how it was kind of set up, but one of the films that they have announced in this new slate of DC films that's connecting this new cinematic universe to DCU is an adaptation of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, written by Tom King and art by Bellis Envy. Probably butchering their name. And that kind of shook us, because we're all like, yeah, you're just doing like a small, you're saying Woman of Tomorrow, you're using that story, but you're using like elements like Civil War wasn't Civil War from the comics, Days of Future Past isn't Days of Future Past from the comics. It's not you ain't doing what DC does with the anime films, where it's like, hey, watch Long Halloween, congratulations, you just read the comic. It's not that, or Year One, or Dark Returns, or Killing Joke. Okay, maybe the last 40 minutes of Killing Joke, but or also Superman, what other adaptations haven't done, Flashpoint or whatever. It's that type of, we're like, yeah, sure, you ain't doing that, you're just going to take elements, but the more and more that's getting stressed about, and that is, they are fully adapting this. And for me, I saw the movie because I did homework and I read the comic. I read the story. And it's a really strong story about loss and grief. And it's basically, when people say it was a sci-fi western, I was like, yeah, sure. Holy shit, it is a sci-fi western. It's True Grit. Basically, if you want to know what the story is, it's True Grit in space. And Supergirl plays basically the Jeff Bridges role. And it's a really well telling story. I mean, the only issue I didn't like was, I think issue 4 felt a little bit jumbled, a little bit confusing to follow, all that kind of stuff. But the rest of it is just beautifully written. So I can understand why James Gunn and Peter Safran like, let's make this into a movie. And so the question is, like, who's going to play Kara? Who's going to play Supergirl? And this is a very different type of Supergirl. This is not going to be like the CW where, let's be honest, Kara in that show was this Superman with tits. Let's just call that what it is. And this one, in Woman Tomorrow, she's a little bit more formed. She has her own personality. She, the thing is about is, yeah, she's a Kryptonian. She's part of the Kal-El family. You got all those Superman qualities in her. But she curses, she makes mistakes. I mean, in how the story starts, or at least the first time we see Kara, is that she's in a bar, all hooded up, getting drunk because it's her 21st birthday, and she's on this planet where it's sun, so she can get drunk. I mean, technically she could wait till 18 and just fly to a different country where 18 is okay. Anyway, just want to put it out there. But the interesting thing is we all question who's going to play Kara, who's going to play the Woman of Tomorrow. And now we know. And it's Ellie Hancock, who's a good kid, who's also part of House of the Dragon, that's the big thing she's recognized for, playing the young Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen from the Game of Thrones spin-off House of the Dragon. And she's now our new Kara. She's our new Supergirl. And I can get it why, because like in Woman of Tomorrow, this is a Supergirl who has seen some shit. She has dealt with trauma. She has seen genocide 3 times.
And then Kara's origin is, even if you look at the original origin, it's so messed up because she doesn't witness 1 Holocaust, she witnesses 3. So the original origin, which is a crazy story. Kara's obviously on Krypton. She's 14. She lives in Argo City, and what happens, and the planet blows up. But her section, Argo City, gets lifted off as a part. So It would be bad enough she was 14. She watches her planet die and she's just left. So like you're in DC, blows up, DC floats away, and everyone else is dead, which is a hard thought to bear. And then she's floating on this city, and they're floating, but they're on a piece. And as they float away from their red sun and gets to some yellow suns, the kryptonite that their city is made out of turns to kryptonite. So, and they're Kryptonians, so they all start dying of cancer. So they all so she's sitting there, she's like, we survived, and then people start dropping left and right. So her father, being a brilliant scientist, as her father said to me, builds a lead shield under the ground. So it's like, okay, we've lost, 30, 50% of our population, but I've saved them. And she helps build this lead shield. And they're floating through space, and then asteroids come and start penetrating the shield, and then people start dying again. So it's her 3rd time of watching her people die. And only at that point does she okay, get in the rocket and go join your cousin, because there's
this ain't working.
But I mean, that builds you strength, and that makes you.
When you have a cat deal with trauma, right, and dealing with heavy stuff, do you want to see it on the surface, or do you want it deep inside? You know what I mean? Do you want it to be, hey, I'm Supergirl, like Supergirl as we all know her to be, and then occasionally it comes out, or do you have Kara just hiding it, just show it to the world, showing the trauma? I can see why they pick her. I understand why James Gunn pissed off and picked her as our new Kara. I mean, I thought it would go to Meg Connolly, who was also up for the wall, just because she has voices the character, and knowing that, hey, whoever plays a DCU character in live action is going to be voicing the character as well in animation, in gaming. So it's that weird thing going on where it's like, well, you have actors who have done it and all that, but so it'll be quite interesting to see if Millie's a good voice actress, because there's 2 different types of skill sets. Not everyone can do it. Have you seen What If? Because she's going to show up in Superman Legacy first. Which what I have to guess is maybe because the subtitle is Legacy, that Kal-El, Clark, Superman, he's all about, I'm the last of Krypton, I'm the last of my species, I have no one to connect with. And then then Kara shows up in the rocket, and then, now I'm not, maybe in the 3rd act, maybe a post-credit scene, but I think that's what's going to be. And whoever's the villain is, it seems like it's the engineer, hinting maybe the Authority. I think there might be some other villains showing up in the movie, I feel like, because you need Superman to punch people, and, because gone the days when Superman gets its lift up a walk and everyone goes, yay! Yeah, Superman needs to fight. Superman needs to throw a punch. But watching House of the Dragon, I can picture certain scenes from the comic, from the story, from the graphic novel, and say, yeah, she could do a good job. Like, there's a scene where she busts through, holds someone by the collar. Like, Kara's on a Kryptonian planet, is on a planet that has a kryptonite sun. So she's just going loco and crazy and all that. And you have this main character, this other character called Wafy. And she's kind of there, offending, making sure Kara doesn't go all nuts and all that. I can see her doing that scene and doing a really good job for that. Anyway, comment below what you think of this casting of Supergirl. Are you a fan of this casting? Do you wish it was someone else? Do you felt out of the 3 actresses that were up for the role, do you think they would do a better job? Comment below, Let me know your thoughts.